Okay, so let's tackle the first letter. Dear Building Better Leaders, I've always been more on the introverted side. Oh, that's quite interesting. So I listen more than I talk. I prefer smaller groups to big town halls, and I need time to think before I can speak. I care deeply about my team and try to create a calm environment where they can do their best work. But lately, I've started to wonder, is this enough? The leaders who get noticed in my organization tend to be dynamic, outspoken, and charismatic. They are great at energizing a room, speaking off the cuff, and making quick decisions. I sometimes feel like I lead in the shadows, steady but invisible. And I worry that my quieter style is being mistaken for a lack of drive or decisiveness. Can introverts really succeed in leadership roles, especially in environments that seem to reward boldness and quick thinkers? Or do I need to change who I am just to be seen? Honestly, I feel fake if I require to be a loud and outspoken person. Okay, so this is a typical question with regards to can introverts lead or be a good leader?
Um, for sure, I'd say that introverts can lead. Look at the two of us, we're both introverts. Although some people who
Yes.
have attended my trainings will not see me as an introvert, but learning how to be on stage and project and all that, it is something that is learned. So public speaking, getting your message across, all those are skills that anyone can learn. And I think the great thing about introverts is that because we don't like speaking, we don't like being on stage naturally, we tend to keep it short. We put in a lot of preparation. We speak only when we absolutely need to. So it is purposeful and it is short. Whereas for many extroverts, some of them love being in the limelight so much because they are energized when they interact with people that they will just take to the stage at every opportunity, even when they don't have very much to say. I'm sure we've all experienced that. And they will hold your attention, they'll make it so engaging, so entertaining, but at the end of it, you're like, what did he say? Yeah? Whereas with an introvert, there is something
Oh,
specific that is being developed, that is being communicated. If not, if they don't have anything to say, they will not say it. So, pros and cons. Of course, there are people who are anywhere in between. It's not just the two extremes of extrovert or introvert. There are people who are anywhere along that whole spectrum who can learn to develop strengths in both areas. And I think that that's where we should look at how we can develop the qualities that are not so strong naturally in us.
okay. So what you're saying is that I think back to the letter, which I could empathize with this person. He says that do I need to change who I am just to be seen, right? So what you are suggesting is that you do not have to change who you are as a person to accept the fact that you are introverted person, which is helpful or which is important in leadership role, but you need to supplement with certain skills in order for you to. Okay, got you. So I'm just wondering. You said those are the pros of being an introverted leader. I wonder what's the cons of being introverted leader for you.
The cons of being an introvert is that it takes a lot more effort to make your presence felt. To be visible doesn't mean that you are loud, but to make your presence felt means that you just need to be very, very present. Present, connected in your own authentic way, and that's how you can make your presence felt. Engaging with groups of people, whether it is with a team or with the whole organization, at a town hall, at a big meeting, for introverts, it tends to be more tiring. Whereas an extrovert typically will thrive from that kind of interactions, but an introvert finds that it drains our energy. So easy fix lah. Just make sure that you have your alone time after that to recharge. And different people recharge in different ways. For me, obviously, is with cuddling my cats. That's the best recharge ever. No words needed. Just purr, and I'll be fine.
Okay, okay. So yeah, I mean, totally agree with you because I do need the me time after a long workshop or like a public speaking engagement and all, then so the way I recharge is just go watch a movie lor. So that's what I do. I just see whatever is available and just watch a movie. So I think what you're saying here is that you don't have to be loud for an introverted person, but you have to be very visible at strategic moments, right? So I think that is the key, right? So like for example, maybe during town halls, important client meetings, management meetings and all, I think there needs to be some intentionality with regards to like, okay, I know that I'm going to be speaking. I know that I need to be present, like you said in this. So I'm going to make sure I prepare well for it instead of winging it, in this case. So then every opportunity is a strategic opportunity for this person to be visible, because it is important. If you want to be a influential leader or impactful leader, you can't just so-called say, I keep hearing this all the time. It's like, oh, I don't have to be loud, I don't have to present myself and so on. My work will do the talking. My work will sell on its own. This is what I usually hear, right, when it comes to somebody who is not willing to be visible in this case. But this is where I realize that that's why I'll tell them to say yes, understand that, but do you see some opportunities being not swung towards your way, right? Because of this thinking, right? That my work will do the talking. Because sometimes you have to be able to project the work that you do anyway, to be able to say that you're doing all these things. I think this is where some of I think the challenge of one person going through that is that, yes, I understand that, but I don't know how to come across talking about my work without coming across as beating my own chest or like showing off. I think that is kind of the tension that they have. That's why they choose then not to go there, not to be so-called visible. So they just rather let the work do the talking. Is there some truth to what I just said?
Mm. Well, myself, as an introvert, I do not like any kind of like chest thumping. So it's still very challenging for me to introduce myself as CEO of 95% and what we've done and so on. Uh, how I handle it, how I psycho myself to be able to say this, because as a leader, I need to promote our services. So
Yeah.
how I psycho
Yeah.
myself is that I ground myself by saying that whatever I'm doing is a service that is meant to benefit the client. So it's
Mm,
not about me talking about how great I am, but rather it's about what can I do for you and how can
mm,
this work serve you, serve your objective and your purpose.
mm,
So that helps me to make the shift. The other thing is that introverts enjoy deep and meaningful conversations. They enjoy deeper connecting at a deeper level when there's something meaningful that is being exchanged. So the other thing that I do, and this is usually in client meetings, is that I try to keep it small and really connect with the person that I'm speaking to, even though there may be 10, 15 people in the room, but who is it that I am speaking to and who am I delivering my message to? So I just try to shut out the rest. So I don't feel that I'm in a crowd, but that it's a one-on-one.
that's a good tip. Yeah. So I think what we are talking about in the corporate context, they call it executive presence, right? I think that's what it's called. So executive presence, from what I understand, it is defined into it's kind of defined to two parts to it. So one of it, the first part is how comfortable are you in projecting your inner self to the external people that you're talking to, right? How confident you are. That's one part to it, right? In terms of executive presence. And the second part to it is that how you make other people feel comfortable with your presence. So one of it is internally, how you project yourself in terms of, like for example, you do good work, everyone knows, you know about it, but how do you project it out to everyone in a very comfortable manner, that you're comfortable with it without coming across that you're beating your chest. So that's important. But the second part of it is also how then this piece of information is helping people to feel comfortable around you. So there's two parts to it. And I think with this letter writer itself, what I am guessing is that this person is quite comfortable with the second part, as in like making people feel comfortable, right? The way that this person has structured it, it comes across this person is deeply so-called personable, and they want to make the other person, the other side of the table, feel comfortable about it. But I think what this person is lacking is the first part of it. How can they project their inner self out to the external part of it in a very comfortable manner? And then you've kind of like given some tips in terms of number one, if you to position it as very service oriented, which means I'm here to serve, I'm here that whatever information that I have will be helpful to the other person. Hence, it's okay for me to be discomfort for now because this information is helpful. So there's this others minded. And the other one is to focus on a smaller group instead of a larger group. So that helps to regulate the energy as well. For me, personally, I am the kind of person who can't speak on the cuff. Yeah, so every time when a senior person or someone with authority would ask me certain questions, I will need some time to think about it. And that may come across as sometimes weak in this case, right? So I think this is where I've learned to be comfortable about it. I'm not saying that I should I'm not saying that I should rest on my laurels to say that, well, I'm built this way. Of course, I'm trying to improve on speaking on the cuff in this case. But also when that happens, I'm trying to be as how should I say, aware of how I'm making people feel uncomfortable. Because if the person is requiring an answer from me and I keep quiet about it or I'm thinking about it, the person may think that I'm actually not interested or may take it very differently. So I will usually say that, like for example, like my former boss, I would say, boss, the reason why I cannot answer you so immediately because I'm actually thinking. This phase here, I'm thinking, right? So this is how I manage the expectation, right? It's not like I don't listen to you or whatever. It's just more of like this phase here, I'm just letting you know that I'm thinking and I may need time to get back to you. So then that kind of de-escalate, the whole entire situation in this case. And that's how I manage. The other thing is also I realized that in order for us to be able to project out our inner self, it's a lot got to do with what we communicate and how we communicate. So it's actually a communication skill. And I think like all things skills you can learn, you can improve on it. So in order for us to be a good communicator in this case, it starts with the what, in terms of what we want to communicate. So I think there needs to be a clarity of mind first in terms of what we want to communicate. Then only we can communicate out in a way that we can express our ideas in this case. So it all starts with the clarity of our thoughts. So this is how I'm dealing with it. So in order for me to be clear in my thoughts, then this is where I was saying earlier on, whenever there is an opportunity for me to be visible, whether it's a town hall or a board meeting and all, then I need to make sure that I'm very clear of what are the pointers, what are the ideas I want to be able to communicate. So which means there's going to be a lot of preparation that's needed to be done. Some notes and some possible pushbacks, or whatever. I write down all these things so that I'm clear of what that needs to be delivered during the time. I'm the kind of person who cannot work on the fly or like wing it. I can't do that, right? Some people are really great with that, but I can't. So I know my weakness, so hence that's why in order for me to come across as visible, starts from clarity of mind. But if you go back further, is to be very opportunistic in terms of knowing when to show up, when to be visible, and to be prepared for such conversations, for you to be visible in the eyes of people, in the eyes of strategic people, right? I think that's really important. I mean, I hear enough of juniors who feel that they are being victimized or that their promotions are being bypassed and so on. They say, look, I'm doing all the work, but how come I don't get the recognition in this case? And a lot of times I realize it's because they have that mindset of like, let my work do the talking. I don't have to beat my own chest. This is where I say that yes, and so it's yes, you still have to do you still have to do the good work for sure, but you also need to be able to comfortably talk about it at the right time, not all the time, right? Because the other opposite is this term called loud presence, which I understand is that you actually don't have, like Ting Kosong, like I call it, where you don't really have much to offer, yeah, empty vessel, but you talk a lot, you talk very loudly. So like what you said earlier on is when the person can impress a room with the loudness and everything, but after you think about it, actually there's not much point to it. So yeah, so that also is you do not want to be in their position as well. So what are we telling this person? So let me try to recall. Please correct. Please jump in if I missed out anything. I think the first thing is that what we're telling this person is it's okay. You don't have to change who you are. You just need to be able to supplement your introvertness with certain skills for you to come across as visible, right? Second thing we are telling this person is that you don't have to be loud, but you have to be visible. Not all the time, but at strategic moments. And in order for you to be able to do that, you need to be able to prepare yourself well, right? Know your limitations and know when are the opportunities to show up. So during those opportunities to show up, this is where you need to prepare well. If preparing pointers helps you do those things, right? So that you can able to speak on the cuff. And if you do not have anything to speak, it's okay. You can just kind of tell the other person to say, look, I need some time to think about it. Doesn't mean I don't care, but I just need some time to think about it. So it's able to have that kind of self-awareness to be able to also tell them that, hey, this is important, but I need some time to think about it. So to be able to express that as well. And there are some other tips to help this person in such situations is when, for example, in a big town hall and all, always remember that what you said, you're there to serve. Whatever information that you prepared is to help the other side of the room to be able to be better at their work, to have clarity and all. So hence, it's okay for you to just go through this discomfort because it is for them, it is not for me, right? And in a networking session, for example, or maybe in a 15 to 20 people sort of group, the other tip is for you to focus on one or two people rather than you trying to get energized from everyone else, because that's not who you are, right? As opposed to an extroverted person.